Alright, welcome back guys to the channel. If you're new here, I do top 5 on just about everything from anime to traveling to sports to cars. And in this video, we'll be going over the top 5 favorite anime characters in Naruto. And trust me, this one's gonna be good. Honestly guys, aside from the number 1 choice, this list was pretty hard. Although I'm not the biggest fan of Naruto, I do love their characters. So let's get started on the list, guys. Starting off at number 5, we have Rock Lee. I'm going to admit, I wasn't the biggest fan of him. I turned into a fan after the fight with Gaara, and I'm pretty sure that's when everybody started being a fan of his. Because the fight with Sasuke before the Chunin exams was a taste of what was about to come before the fight with Gaara. I honestly thought this man was going to get destroyed. Like, why are they doing this man like this? But that fight ended up being one of my favorite fights in Naruto. But the moment I went batshit crazy was when Guy Sensei told him to take off those weights. And he drops them just like my jaw dropped watching that fight. Cause after that, this man became a whole different animal. But not only that, he took it to another level when he started to unlock the inner gates. And although he never reached the level of Guy Sensei, he was the only other one who got close to it aside from Guy's dad. And for me, another reason I really do like Lee is that unlike everybody else in the anime, he was the only one who didn't know Genjutsu, Ninjutsu, or any kind of powers in that sense. All he used was Taijutsu. Aside from Guy Sensei, he was the only other one. But we didn't see all of Guy's childhood, unlike Lee's. And I thought that was pretty cool, especially in a world where you need some kind of advantage to become a shinobi, and he did it without any of that. Don't get it wrong, Guy Sensei had a lot to do with that because he basically paved the road for him. But I still give it to Lee for putting in all that work, because you could be shown the blueprint doesn't mean you're going to put in the work, and that's what's really required. And that's what Lee ended up showing me in the anime. Honestly, I'm pretty sure this man is on everybody's list, and a lot of people probably have him higher on the list. But it's Uchiha Itachi. I like him a lot, but not enough for number 1. Back when he first murdered and killed his clan, aside from Sasuke, I was like, God damn, what the hell? And when Itachi put Sasuke in his place, telling him, you don't have enough hatred in your heart yet, I was like, good shit, putting him in his place. That I really liked. But once I found out why he did what he did to his clan and what he did to Sasuke, matter of fact, just what he did in all of the anime, he became a goat for everybody. This man literally killed his entire clan just to stop a civil war and protect his village. He even killed his own parents. This man could have had everything, honestly. He could have had a wife with the girl he loved. He could have had a happy life with her and his brother and his parents all together. He could have ended up even becoming Hokage. Instead, he ended up killing every Uchiha on the face of this planet, except his brother, just to stop a civil war. You gotta put some respect on that for the lengths he was willing to go to. He even let Sasuke beat him in their fight. And I know a few of you guys are gonna say Sasuke won that fight fair and square, but no. He didn't. He lost. Itachi let him win. Itachi was pretending to play the villain, and he did a great job because he fooled everybody in the anime and everybody watching it. This man was such on a different level that he broke out of Kabuto's jutsu. And keep in mind, no one else had or could break out of it. And another reason I love this guy is because this guy made Danzo shit himself scared. I think in all the anime, he was the only one to make him feel fear, and that's why he's on this list for me. Number 3 on the list is Nagato for me, aka Pain. The reason I like Nagato so much is because I love his backstory. Like, he came out of nowhere with the Rinnegan, and when he showed up, those eyes were considered the most powerful eyes in the world, even more powerful than the Sharingan or the Byakugan. because I assumed that the Sharingan was the most powerful eyes since that whole clan was wiped out, unlike the Byakugan, or the Hyuga clan I should say. And another part of his backstory that I did enjoy was the fact that Jiraiya was his teacher alongside Konan and Yaiko. And when they actually showed when Yaiko died and he fully unlocked his powers through raid and with a little help from Madara, he became a whole different animal. After that point, he was just purely after revenge for his village and his friend. The worst thing I hate about Pain is that he killed Jiraiya. Watching that hurt, man. To know that your student killed you, but I think Jiraiya could have beat him, but I don't think Jiraiya had it in him to kill his own student, especially when he thought he was the child of the prophecy. But my absolute favorite thing about this guy is that the whole thing with Pain and Naruto, when they end up fighting and he had him pinned down and gave him the whole speech, which by the way was amazing in itself. But it was that last part where he basically asked Naruto, what would you do in my position? And then after he loses it and goes berserk on him for nearly killing Hinata, he just stands there like a boss and says, do you hate me now? I was like, yo, this guy just literally murdered his future wife and he didn't give a rat's ass about it. I was like, I respect you so much. After that episode, man, he became one of my favorite characters of all time. Because you're telling me you did that to the main character and had no hesitation whatsoever. Damn, like to do that, you had to be on a different level. I love this guy so much that I have his theme song as my ringtone for my phone. That's how much I like this guy. So honestly, I was going to put Nagato as my number 2, but that goes to Kakashi Sensei because to me, he was the first one to demonstrate the extent of a shinobi in Naruto. Like, I remember watching him fight Zabuza and him doing the hand sign symbols like crazy fast and copying Zabuza with the Sharingan. That was crazy to watch because then we also found his nickname being the Copycat Ninja. That's what originally attracted me to Kakashi, but it only evolved afterwards because he kept getting better and better. He even taught Sasuke his Chidori. You know, one of the dumb things about Kakashi was his whole rivalry with Guy Sensei and his matches. Although some of them were stupid, it was funny to watch sometimes. But I think I got attracted more to Kakashi once it reached the levels of him trying to train Naruto to learn the Shuriken Rasengan. And the whole fight with Pain. And honestly, I thought he died when he fought Pain, where he took that nail to the head. I was like, damn, he just died. But luckily, he ended up coming back to life. Although not before meeting his dad and having a conversation with him in the afterlife. But the best fight for him, hands down, and I know everybody will agree with me on this, is when he went up against Obito in that one-on-one war scene. That was just a masterpiece of a scene. If you see them fight, they use all their abilities. Not only do they use like the ninjutsu, they also use taijutsu. It's just how that scene starts off with basically the older Obito pulling the younger Obito back and then basically them going at it. And like, it's no fancy stuff or anything like that. You see them go hand-on-hand combat and then they switch it up to ninjutsu, them use Chidori, they using summoning jutsus. Like, it was just a great show of Naruto in itself. It showed like all what it had to offer basically. If you saw my previous video, you know number 1 is Jiraiya Sensei, aka the Pervy Sage. This man was hilarious from the get-go, man. He basically knew all Naruto's past but denied training him when he first started. Although he eventually did end up training him, and the way he went about just training Naruto was he threw him off the cliff, and he was testing Naruto to see how much of the Nine Tails power he would use. Main reasons I have him though as number 1 overall is just because although he's very powerful, and even Itachi says it himself, if they would ever go one-on-one, that Jiraiya would win. But at the same time, he's a goofball while showing how strong he really is. And it shows it a lot when he's around Tsunade, who always beats him up for being pervy, and he always has a bloody nose trying to see all the girls' parts. I just appreciated him just because he had a serious side, but he also had more of a funny side as well. That was really funny to watch. To me, anyway. Hex, even while he fought Pain, his last fight, he was still joking around while fighting him. Another reason I really liked him is because he did so much for the anime, because not only did he train Naruto to become who he is, but he also trained 3 of the Akatsuki members, being Nagato, Yaiko, and Konoha. Although at the time they weren't part of that group, but they ended up forming it. But he still played a huge part in that. And he was in charge of also finding the Child of Prophecy, which, he thought it was Nagato, but it ended up being Naruto. And he also helped Naruto control the Nine Tails. The best and the worst part of him was the way his story ended. He went out like a champ. He took on the 6th pass of Pain, and it cost him his life. This man went back out after he had lost an arm, and he chose to fight because he needed to gather more information for his people. He did that going in, and that's why I respected him, because even though he knew he was most likely going to die, he continued to gather as much information as he possibly could to the last minute. He literally couldn't even talk anymore, and he wrote his last message to Naruto and everybody else on the back on a frog. You might as well call that a tattoo on this man. And that's why, to me, he was the best out of all of them, is because he showed what a real true shinobi was. He stayed true to his way, and he completed his last mission. Knowing that he was going to die, he completed it. And that's what a shinobi is meant to be. Alright guys, this will be the end of the video. I actually really enjoyed doing these anime videos. So if you guys enjoyed them, let me know. And if you have any suggestions, leave in the comments. Thanks. See you next time.